Yeah, so I know you just said no matter how conscious we get sometimes, we still get really affected by what we're seeing in the films and the music. It really seeps its way into us.
Yeah, I know. I don't watch movies and films. Well, very little. Um, let's break that down more, like it's like despite our practical or realistic experience with people, we almost get like this mold, MOULD, from watching or template from watching these movies and music clips and things. And now we're trying to match up our living circumstances with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the experience becomes an image, not a embodied experience of loving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because the image has a certain feeling tone to it. Like if you're watching a intimate scene on a film, it's usually a couple comes into the house and immediately she throws her shoe off and I don't know, peels her jacket off and he pushes her against a wall or something and they're going at it and like the impression it makes on your consciousness is one of this is exciting. Like that's the narrative that you're told. This is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's just
When you said
hungry,
that,
violent. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry. No, no, you keep going.
I was saying the words that come to mind from that impression are it's hungry, it's violent, it's tense, it's like a starved dog kind of feel to it. That's what I think we have indoctrinated into us about what real sexuality should look like or feel like.
Yeah, and why would that be? I mean, just when you said that, so there's a couple of things that came to me. One is when I was watching, the movie P.S. I Love You one time, and even what you were discussing, they were a married couple, like, and she threw up her shoe. This is what reminded me, but she was throwing it at him. No, it was like a real tussle, like, why did you say that to your mother? You know how I feel about that. And it's like, that's still very sexual. She's allowed to be highly emotional and kind of hard to take, but there's this like passionate kind of rumble between them. That's also in the in the mix of all of that. So I'm just thinking about you saying it's always this idea that men and women don't understand each other. And somehow in that is the passion, and it's either comes out in rough sex or this arguing that's competitive or angry with each other.
Yeah. And I would say the flip
Sorry,
tension. And
tension.
I would say the flip side of that is even outside of if you watch the film and now you go to the next scene after the sex scene, it'll be like a comedy where she takes the guy shopping and he's just sitting there frustrated and annoyed and she's all excited and happy and that's supposed to be romantic somehow or some, like even the romantic scenes are kind of about how they're not really connecting because they're so different, which is what you just
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. And yeah, and then what happens is there's this presupposition. So you actually meet men and they think, oh, don't tell me you don't like shopping. I mean, like you must like shopping. they've got these ideas, and there are these ideas that are quite limited as to the depth that a woman goes. And even in the depthful descriptions of women, let's say with some of the writings we see around, some of the men who talk about, I'm not going to say the name, although, one who was writing about, your woman is going through menopause. It's not that she, doesn't love you, or, it's just you're acting like a wanker, you know, which is quite Australian term. So even that is so limited in it's always got to do with she's this chaotic kind of nature nature spirit that can't be contained, and you're going to get blown around in it, so you've got to be strong. And she just wants safety. I mean, it's really redundant, and what it does is it has men and women think that they know what each other needs.
You just froze up for 30 seconds.
Did I?
It could have been me, but
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I still think we're playing out this kids being angry at their caregivers through sexuality.
yeah. Yeah. But really, when we think that we know what being a woman is or being a man is or how the man should be, it creates a sort of cemented, ossified shell of an experience in the body.
Yeah, see how beautiful those words just were then? Cemented, ossified shell. Because they paint body pictures, like energetic sensory experiences, which is very, very different. And you don't see that being discussed about what women are capable of doing, because when a woman is very connected with her body, she transmits her body experience in such a way that is so immersively poetic to the man's being. But you don't see that. You see him sitting, going shopping with her and um, pumping her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, really. I mean, I'm also very aware of this assault on beauty on women as well, but they can't get it right, because now you've got men saying that women are, um, oh yeah, look how much work they've had done. Who cares? Like, so many women are having work done now. You can't really be beautiful because everybody's kind of, gathering on the bandwagon of how to be more beautiful or the most beautiful. And men are now kind of going, you know, I think there's people talking about the fact that, oh yeah, but it's been bought, her beauty's been bought, you know. Um, when really, if you saw a lot of these celebrities, this is what I've realized is we're really being conditioned to cave in to our luminosity, our actual spiritual luminosity. And that is concerning, because I'm seeing so many unique, gorgeously irregular featured actors before they become big. And then you realize, my God, they really changed what they looked like. Now, the interesting thing about what people look like is, in a society that is trying to get everybody to be uniform and perfect, you're going to have a different psychological makeup when you sit outside of that doctrine. And it could actually deepen you.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It seems like from all fronts, like one of the threads of our conversation is films and beauty standards, all of it. It's kind of reinforcing the same redundant um psychosomatic experiences, which are, yeah, we're not really exploring the terrain in between or broadening the scope of what our experience could be. So it's extremely limited. And no wonder there's so many films about zombie this and zombie that. I don't know if you've seen this. There's a lot of films about zombies nowadays in the past 10 years. And we're really being
I've
zombified.
seen some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we are being zombified. And what's concerning to me as well is I see a lot of men, and I'm talking to men, and the women are responsible too. The women, I don't know, but I see a lot of spiritual men online, let's say that. And they're talking to women who have obviously had fillers, done their hair, that's fine, but overdone themselves, wearing lots of makeup and very sexy dressing. And these are our spiritual mentors when really, and they're talking to them like they're going to have some kind of experience of those women discovering who they are, yet their whole persona is not who they are. So it's almost, and then you'll see them, even their lovers and their wives are looking the same. And you've really got to question what their work is. Because, so on one level, they're breaking you out of the matrix, and on the other level, they need you there for their own sexual, uh, sexual fantasy gratification, because
Style.
that is not a real woman. A
Yeah.
real woman lets her hair go grey, she gets wrinkles, she has cellulite, but what she does is she illuminates from the inside. And really, a man who's really wanting to discover his feminine and her darkness, which will eventually take him to her luminosity, would be endeavoring to support that process of her feeling beautiful no matter what. But you find a lot of men actually don't find women naturally beautiful anymore. And even if they're naturally beautiful, they still prescribe to that same
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. Well, it's extremely out of touch with what's natural. Like
Yeah.
just, and the way that those men live. Um, I don't know, something like fluorescent lighting instead of natural lighting in the house. And I mean, I'm talking about external things, but I'm just saying this the structure of our whole society is to promulgate a very artificial, out
Right.
of touch sense of
Exactly.
beauty. Yeah.
Right. Which is what the movies, and then the movies feed a sense of successfulness
Yeah.
with that look, with that story, you know.
Yeah. And we're all susceptible to it. I'm very susceptible to it. I just watched a show, it's called The Summer I Turned Pretty or something, about a girl and two brothers, and the two brothers are fighting over her. And, she used to be really insecure, but now she's pretty. But she's still the insecure girl. And so, you can kind of relate to it if you're a woman, because you're like, oh, that's me on the inside. But anyways, I'm just saying it's really, we are really vulnerable to that type of,
We really are. And to
yeah.
You were going to say something.
No, no, yeah, I said it. I said we're really vulnerable to that type of propaganda, even if we're deeply spiritual.
Yeah, we are. Because we've got a celebration, like, um, I mean, literally, I watched a husband go, "Isn't she beautiful? Like, ladies and gentlemen, isn't my wife just gorgeous?" And then I was thinking about, I was like looking back just for some reason, looking into what this person, yeah, with the hair extensions and the facelift and the Botox and the nose job. I mean, what am I actually thinking is beautiful? Reconstruction.
Yeah, yeah. And not to mention that um, the more reconstruction you do, the less able you are to feel your body. I mean, that's just the truth.
And that's the other thing.
Well, that's the main
Yeah,
thing, I feel. Yeah,
you're right. That's the main thing. I mean, I honestly do not know how women can put their mouths on anything when it's got Botox in it. Can be alive vessels. But this is what I'm trying to say. So when you have men and women, you really have to consider, who are you listening to? And then also look at the women and the men that they're choosing to be with, or what kind of person they're presenting as themselves. Because certainly I can understand that, you want to make alterations on yourself in this society to some degree. I get my hair done quite a lot now. I find it very hard to blow dry my hair, and I'm loving how it looks when it gets blow dried. But I'm very much trying to find a balance between what am I willing to, what not what am I willing, like how can I stay alive in every single aspect of my being as I can still feel, you know, visibly attractive in a society that very much governs how I'm supposed to look.
yeah. And not to mention that how you look is broken up into all of these different parts of, the shape of your hair and nose and lips instead of some sort of invisible, in unpossessable radiance that is, yeah,
It's because radiance isn't accessible to so many people now that this has been fed to them.
yeah,
It couldn't have been done any other way.
yeah.